Football is all about emotion and tradition, and Florida State against Miami has all you could ask for. Add the Orange Bowl as the backdrop, and the fact that one of these teams could see its national championship hopes evaporate on opening night, and you have college football at its best. Welcome to ESPN Full Circle's College Football, presented by Dish Network. Tonight, it's number 11 Florida State and number 12 Miami in one of the great rivalry games in all of sports. The Orange Bowl has seen a lot of history since it opened in 1937. Another chapter could be written tonight with the winner vaulting into the nation's top 10. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Todd Blackledge. It's great to have you with us. Holly Rowe will join us shortly. When Miami joined the ACC, a lot of their fans thought they would dominate this conference. That hasn't happened. In fact, in each of the last 2 years, they've lost 3 games. That's bad for Miami, and it culminated in an embarrassment, a 43-42-3 loss in the Peach Bowl. That brought in new coaches, a new system. They get to test it against Florida State.
Well, Larry Coker really shook up his staff. 6 new coaches, 4 on the offensive side of the ball, including new offensive coordinator Rich Olson, who was here with Dennis Erickson in the early 90s. Last 10 years he spent in the NFL, and he brings in an aggressive, attacking style. He hopes to attack the whole field, and he has some good weapons to work with, starting with his quarterback, Kyle Wright, who will begin his second year as the starter. The big emphasis with Kyle Wright during this summer, getting the ball out of his hands quicker. When it comes to running the football, they were without Tyrone Moss tonight, who was suspended, the starting tailback. Charlie Jones filled in great for him last year when Moss went down with the injury. He will be the feature back tonight. The main go-to guy in the passing game, tight end Greg Olson. In this game last year, 9 catches for 137 yards.
FSU is a team that once had 14 consecutive finishes in the nation's top 5, but not lately, and last year was a low point. They lost 5 games. They know to get better, the offense has to improve.
It has to improve, and it should improve. 2 reasons. Number 1, the offensive line, which has been decimated by injuries the last 2 years, the healthiest that it's been in a long while. Secondly, they've got a young quarterback in Drew Weatherford, who really got tested under fire last year and did a lot of great things. Without a running game, he did some good things, but Drew Weatherford is a student of the game. He went back and looked at all 18 of his interceptions, and he knows this year it has to be a better decision-making year for him. Lorenzo Booker should help that running game. He's waited for 4 years to be the feature back in this offense, and the go-to guy in the Florida State pass game, Chris Davis. He was the leading receiver last year. Over the summer, he and Weatherford developed an even greater chemistry.
Now, both teams we expect to have dominating defenses, so what do we look for on offense to see who might have the edge in this game?
I think there are 2 things to pay attention to. Number 1, which one of these 2 quarterbacks will show the greatest game management, good decision-making, and protection of the ball. And number 2, which offensive line can control the line of scrimmage. That shows up in running the football and pass protection.
About 3 hours ago, the weather was absolutely ugly. Let's get an update. Here's Holly Rowe.
For Florida State, Drew Weatherford came out for warm-ups, and he looked up to the skies as to say, bring it on. The players are loving this atmosphere. All of the ball carriers, the running backs, and the wide receivers will be wearing those gloves with the tacky surface. So, guys, the weather does not appear to be affecting the teams so far. We'll keep our eye on it.
Holly, thank you very much. We're waiting on both ball clubs here at the Orange Bowl. Miami will come out of the helmet. Larry Coker leads out the Canes. You can feel it in the air, can't you? in Miami. From the Orange Bowl, the kickoff is next. The Orange Bowl doesn't look like the Orange Bowl very often, but it does tonight. The series history. Florida State against Miami, one of the great rivalries in football. The 51st meeting since the early 50s. Miami leads it by 8 last year. FSU broke a 6-game losing streak. They won it on a botched field goal try late in the game, 10-7. The last 3 meetings decided by 11 points. And how many heartbreaking field goals have we seen decide games in this series? Will we have another one tonight? Graham Gano to kick it off for the Seminoles of Florida State. Darnell Jenkins and Bruce Johnson are deep to receive for the Hurricanes. We're underway in Miami. Jenkins from the 6. Great speed on these kickoff, return, and coverage units. They'll start from the 21-yard line. Kyle Wright comes out, the junior from Danville, California. Completed 18 touchdown passes a year ago. Was honorable mention in the ACC. On track to graduate in December, but would still have eligibility left and certainly thinking about coming back next year.
And I think what we'll see with this Miami offense and Kyle Wright, 3-step passes, short 5-step drops, get rid of the ball quick, and moving the pocket, moving him around in different spots as well.
Charlie Jones is the tailback. And Wright to throw on first down, and unloads on first down. And overthrown by several strides intended for Jenkins, who caught 25 balls a year ago.
A little adrenaline on that throw there.
Yes, sir. The Miami offense, the Canes line has to do a better job this year. Last season, it tied for last in the ACC in sacks allowed, including 9 against Florida State.
4 new starters up there. Walschlager, the center, the only returning starter of that front 5.
Sam Shields, number 83, a very talented freshman, is in for the first time at wide receiver. Wright looks his way and throws, and Shields makes a diving catch up near the 31. They have to get to the 33 for a first down. FSU's defense lost 9 key players from last year's team, but great talent remains, especially at linebacker, a unit that has exceptional speed. Buster Davis in the middle, an All-American candidate.
When you talk about a team being able to reload like a Florida State or a Miami, that comes when you lose 4 guys in the first round of the NFL draft and still expect to have an outstanding defense like Florida State expects this year.
The Leon Jackson and Greg Olson form a 2 tight end set. They come out in the eye. Jones off the left side. Needed to get to the 32-yard line. He'll be stopped shy of that by DJ Norris, the junior left end, starting in place of the injured Alex Boston.
We talked about how important the offensive line play. Which offensive line can control the line of scrimmage? This time, the defensive front 7 of Florida State controlled the action up there. Virtually no gain on that second down and short play.
Now the punt team will come out. There's Larry Coker, now in his 6th year. He's been under fire for one of the great records in college football. It's amazing what the standards are with both these programs. Brian Monroe, who will also see some action this year at wide receiver, comes on to punt. Chris Davis, who only returned 8 a year ago, is back waiting at his own 31. Both these teams really good on special teams, but a poor kick here. Monroe shanks it, and it's out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Just a 23-yard kick. Yikes.
There was some decent pressure by Florida State, but not enough to alter Monroe that much. You have to expect a senior punter to get off a better kick than this on the first punt of the game. Just shanked it right off the left foot.
Boy, and then he tried to draw a foul, but they weren't buying that one. Here's Drew Weatherford, Land O'Lakes, Florida, his home, and yes, a descendant of William Wallace, the Scottish legend who was Braveheart. Booker. On the screen, got a block to the 40 and knocked out of bounds. First down. Nice block by Mario Henderson, his left tackle, and a gain of 16.
And a nice call by Jeff Bowden. Get Drew Weatherford into the game early with a nice little swing pass. An easy throw with a very versatile Lorenzo Booker. Not only a good runner, but an excellent receiver out of the backfield. That's an easy throw and catch for Drew Weatherford. Here's Henderson out leading the play. Nice first down play for the Noles.
Booker and Surratt are the running backs. Booker the deep man. He's already stated his goal this year. He wants to set a Seminole rushing record. Weatherford. Short set and throws. Tipped into the air and incomplete. Good coverage by Randy Phillips. He was all over Dakota Bag. Florida State's offense, the Seminoles very thin up front. They need to improve on last year's rushing totals. They only averaged 94 yards a game. That won't get it done.
Now that's the real area of concern. It was a point of emphasis during the spring and the early part of summer camp. They have to run the football better in order to be effective offensively.
Second down and 10, the Seminoles opening possession. They are already in Miami territory.
And you can already see the maturation of Drew Weatherford. Second consecutive checkoff.
They show blitz, they don't come. Weatherford tries to run and is stuffed. Romeo Davis and Kareem Brown on the tackle. Two all-star defenders. That Miami defense has always had big-time players. The safeties are at the head of the list this year. Both starters All-American candidates. Certainly All-American talent. Merriweather is the senior. The sophomore, the rising star, is Kenny Phillips.
Third down, a big down in this ball game last year. 3rd and 1 to 6 is a manageable down. 3rd and 7 plus, very difficult against these two defenses.
3 wideouts. Weatherford throws. Broken tackle, a chance to get inside the 30. The catch made by Chris Davis. Runs excellent routes, and you saw him get open over the middle that time, and it looks like they are just short of first down.
A lot of times you say, well, why didn't the receiver go 11 yards if he needed 10 for the first down? But you also want a receiver to come back to the football. Pretty good protection. Watch Davis come back to his quarterback and shield the defender. You want the receiver to do that, but in doing so, he came up a little short of the first down.
The bottom line being, if he doesn't come back, he can't make the catch.
That's exactly right. Or it might be intercepted, even worse.
First big decision of the ball game, 4th and inches.
The difference between this 4th down decision and the one Larry Coker had, the ball is on the Miami 30-yard line.
Quarterback keeper Weatherford. And there is a penalty marker down.
Miami lined up offsides in the neutral zone on that short yardage play.
Ron Cherry, our referee, and there's a great break for the Seminoles early. The neutral zone is the length of the football, and you just can't get in there. Surratt and Booker continue as the running backs. Booker. Stopped short of the 26-yard line. Booker was one of 3 backs last year that rotated with Greg Jones and Leon Washington, and really none of them, as they tried to do it by committee, gave them a whole lot. And 94 yards a game, as we said, that won't do it. As in the ACC, that's unheard of for them.
And that's why Drew Weatherford struggled in the middle of the season as well, because once teams realized the running threat was non-existent, they could really play defense against the pass only. Made it tough on the freshman quarterback.
Weatherford under pressure, dumps it off to Surratt. The fullback lowers his shoulder and gets to the 20. Romeo Davis, the middle linebacker, made the stop. Weatherford a season ago as a redshirt freshman threw for 3,200 yards. That was the third best all time for FSU, and it was the best in the nation for a freshman.
He and Kyle Wright tied with those 18 touchdown passes for tops in the Atlantic Coast Conference, but the 18 interceptions, the part he really wants to work on this year.
3rd down and 5. To the shotgun, Miami showing blitz, and they come with it. Weatherford gets rid of it, knocked down. Excellent defense by Randy Phillips, the corner. And you know he is looking forward to playing tonight. He was burned for the first touchdown pass in the Peach Bowl. He's had to wait all year for redemption.
Randy Shannon, defensive coordinator, said he's held up very well in the summer in press coverage, man-to-man, and twice they've gone after him tonight, and he defended both times.
4th and 5. Sismatio will come on for a field goal attempt, 37 yards. He was the young man who didn't get the chance to redeem himself either. In the Orange Bowl, missed 2 field goals and an extra point. Not this time. Drills it through from 37 yards, and FSU draws first blood in Miami. It's 3-0. Welcome back to Miami, everyone. Florida State and the Hurricanes. The Seminoles on top by 3 midway through the first quarter. The team that has scored first has won 14 of the last 15.
Last year, Florida State scored the first 10 points of the game, and little did they know that would be all the scoring they would have in the game, winning 10-7.
Gano will kick off to Darnell Jenkins and Bruce Johnson. That's Jenkins, 5'10", 190-pound senior. Johnson, number 22. Jenkins cuts in front of Johnson at the 2. As the seam trips over the leg of a blocker. Those new rules are designed to make the game go a little bit faster. They thought things were getting out of hand. When the ball is marked ready to play, the official blows his whistle. The clock starts then, and not when the ball is snapped. It starts on the kickoff when the ball is kicked rather than when the receiving team touches it.
See, right now, the referee just started the clock when they mark the ball ready for play, and it's made a difference in this first weekend of games. It's cut down about 12 to 14 plays a game of the two teams combined.
And Miami had its offense out there quickly, so they might have at least a chance to get a snap before the quarter ended, but they couldn't get that play off. We've got a timeout on the field, end of the first quarter. It's a defensive battle, 3-0 Seminoles. Welcome back to ESPN Full Circle's College Football Primetime, presented by Dish Network. This is Mike Patrick along with Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe from the Orange Bowl in Miami, ready to start the second quarter where it's 3-0. Miami with its best field position. Jones, the tailback, 13 yards rushing tonight. Get a short gain on this pass play to Leggett. He's belted.
Now what Kyle Wright has to process on that throw, the good quick 3-step drop, but they are closing on it fast. So sometime here in the near future, you might want to go hitch and go. If they're going to close that fast on the little 3-step hitch route, you have to be prepared to pump fake and fake that throw and try to go by him.
Bobby Bowden has always said speed is the most important thing in college football, and you can see it on both of these teams. They've got some blazers. Jones, blocker in front, dives to the 42, needed to reach the 41 for a first down.
Charlie Jones, when Tyrone Moss got hurt in the Virginia Tech game last year, he said he was kind of shocked to go in the game. You know, he wasn't expecting to play very much,
right.
Ended up running for 95 yards in that big win up in Blacksburg. People would think maybe he's not the flashiest back, but he's tough, he's quick, he can take the ball to the distance. They've worked hard to get him more involved in the passing game this year with Rich Olson's offense.
And he said about this night, every guy dreams of being the man in a game like this. Wright short set, throws for a first down. Good toss to Jenkins, and it's a first down Miami. Holly's on the sideline, and she has a very special guest.
Well, my former Miami running back Edgerrin James is here. He was honored for a donation he made to the school, but more importantly, he's here watching his cousin Javaris James at running back. He was around you a lot of the time growing up as you played. What do you hope he learned from you that'll help him this year?
Well, you know, all the things that I had to learn, he already know, you know, so he should go out there and play way beyond his years. And I expect him to be a better player than I was, and hopefully it carries over to the NFL because he's going to be good, no doubt.
Back with more in a moment after the play.
Thanks, Holly. Wright straight back to throw. Blitz coming. They try to pick it up, and Wright throws to the sideline. Caught at the 10 by Jenkins.
That was a great adjustment by Jenkins. It was not intentionally underthrown. It was underthrown because of the pressure on Kyle Wright, but Darnell Jenkins was able to find the ball and adjust to it in midair.
Boy, Wright knew he was going to get it too, didn't he?
He got rid of it under pressure, and because he got hit by Buster Davis, he didn't get everything he wanted onto that ball. But Darnell Jenkins looked back, found the ball, saw it was short, and made the adjustment on the sideline.
27-yard gain. Jenkins has had an outstanding offseason.
Different formation set this series for Miami's offense has loosened up this Florida State defense. More spread formations.
Kyle Wright to the shotgun. Sail out blitz, and they got him at the 25. Holy cow, they got there in a heartbeat.
Well, there's a flag down, but Kyle Wright, we talked about managing the game and making good decisions. Sometimes the defense wins. Florida State's defense won on this play. You must throw it away.
Illegal snap. Offense.
That's a break for Miami, because it's a dead ball penalty and it's a break, less yardage than the sack. But that's a play where Kyle Wright has to throw the ball away.
Yeah.
You've got to learn to throw that ball away. Don't put your team in a bad situation. Throw it away.
That's 15 yards on that loss. You can't have that.
Yeah. As it turns out, they only lose 5. So
still first down, but now from the 15-yard line. They cannot get a first down. It's first and goal.
And that is vintage Mickey Andrews. You
Yes,
get in
it
the
is.
red zone on him and make a couple plays, he is coming after you, baby. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes after Kyle Wright again on this play, because right now Miami's in field goal range, if nothing else.
The longtime defensive coordinator and associate head coach. Jones
How about Buster Davis?
drilled in the backfield, and Davis, living up to his credentials, he just unloaded.
Miami tried to go on a quick count and overload the left side of the Florida State formation. And watch Buster Davis read it and come right now. Wow. Such quick recognition, and he knew, and look at the angle. Proper pursuit angle.
Now they threw a flag. Watch his helmet come off.
Now,
They threw a flag. I think they're going to pick it up because they finally realized he didn't take it off. It came off.
It popped off by contact.
But boy, is he.
He is good. Oh, personal foul on Florida State. Oh, a spear at the end of the play. Take a look at,
for sure.
Yeah, take a look at Paul Griffin, number 54, junior college transfer. At the end of the play, he's coming right on top of the ball carrier head first. And it wasn't for the helmet, it was for the spear, and that's a good call against Florida State.
Good call and a stupid play. Miami with fresh life now inside the 10. It's still first down. Driven out of bounds is Charlie Jones as he tried to turn the corner.
One thing Rich Olson's doing in this drive, he's really mixing up his formations and his personnel groups, and that comes a lot from his NFL background. 2 tight ends or 3 wide receivers. That time a couple tight ends trying to outflank the Florida State defense. That time they were able to get Buster Davis blocked and get to the edge.
Anthony Hulis, number 46, the strong safety, credited with the tackle as he drove Jones out of bounds. Oh, this great defensive unit for Florida State. Not much room to go, especially when you try to get outside. They're just too fast.
Slow getting out of the huddle from Miami. The play clock down to 6 seconds right now.
Jones breaks a tackle, dives, touchdown. Charlie Jones, who had 5 touchdowns last year, gets his first this year. If at first you don't succeed.
And it wasn't flashy, but it was effective. He broke 1 tackle and dove to the end zone.
That was one of their heavy formations. They had 3 tight ends on that side of the formation that just tried to pound it. He still had to break a tackle to get there. With the point after, it's 7-3. The Canes with their first touchdown of the young season, and they have the lead. Jones with that touchdown run has given Miami a 7-3 lead over Florida State. We're early in the second quarter. 51-yard drive kept alive by an untimely penalty against Florida State. Brian Monroe, who will handle the kickoff duties this year. Joslyn Shaw and Michael Ray Garvin, a track star, an All-American, are deep. Garvin 2 yards deep. He'll bring it out. Doesn't get to the 15. He was drilled by Richard Gordon, one of the backup tight ends.
Go back to the Miami touchdown. Take a look at a couple things. First, tight end Greg Zellner, number 88, is going to come down to get a nice seal block on Lawrence Timmons. That's going to enable Charlie Jones to get to the outside. And then Roger Williams, the free safety, number 8, is unblocked but can't make the tackle on Charlie Jones. A good block, a missed tackle, and Miami has the lead.
Weatherford leads out his offense. Got Lorenzo Booker behind it. Booker, a little hesitation, and he is drilled by John Beeson, number 2.
We talked about Buster Davis. Well, John Beeson, Randy Shannon told us yesterday, defensive coordinator, this guy plays and practices with a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he plays angry. He practices angry. He competes like John Vilma, former Miami linebacker. He's a little undersized. Maybe he's been told he can't do something for a lot in his life, but boy, he gets after it on the practice field and in the game field.
Now it's 3rd and 15. Weatherford in the shotgun inside his own 5.
Again, Weatherford needs to be very smart with the football right here. Don't feed the frenzy.
Going to play it safe. Draw play to Lorenzo Booker. He has absolutely no place to go. Swarmed over by the orange-shirted Hurricanes.
And you go back to, it seems like a long time ago, but the 60-some-yard punt by Brian Monroe that finally flipped field position for Miami.
Right.
In a defensive struggle, field position is huge. Miami now has the edge in the field position game.
You are absolutely right. And 2 penalties been a huge part of this game so far. Graham Gano. Jenkins waits in Seminole territory.
Miami looks like they're coming after this kick, too. 10 guys on the line.
Nice kick. Jenkins, the 44, ran into his own man and fell on it at midfield. Spencer Adkins dropped back to block and nearly caused a disaster. It's a loss of 6. 3-man rush this time.
Nice
Wright throws to the sideline, has the first down, threw a bullet to Leggett.
And that's poised by your quarterback. He moves out of the pocket, but he doesn't just take off and run. Now, last year, as a sophomore and a first-year starter, he might have been inclined to just tuck this and take off and run. But he scrambles, but he keeps his eyes downfield, and he finds Jenkins again, or Leggett, on the sideline. Leggett does a nice job coming back to the football.
This kid was really beaten up a year ago.
33 sacks this club gave up behind a substandard offensive line. And how often have you said that about Miami? A substandard offensive line, a school that has produced so many All-Americans up front, but he's taking advantage of better protection right now.
Sure is. And they're running the ball with enough effectiveness to keep the Florida State defense a little bit back on their heels. You have to run it with some effectiveness. Then you can play action pass, and you can also throw your quick game.
There you see in those 3 losses, he was just buried. Tonight off to an excellent start, 10 out of 12 for 72 yards. He's connected on the last 6. Blitz coming. Little toss to the tight end. Nice catch by Greg Olsen. Against FSU last year, he had the game of his life. 8 catches for 137 yards. He's been very active in this first half as well, but not very deep.
Well, it's a little bootleg, and Kyle Wright had to get rid of it quick, and a beautiful one-handed catch by Olsen. And again, you see the speed of Geno Hayes right there to wrap him up after a very short game.
Everybody wants the tickets to this one. Wright sits in the pocket and delivers. Down to the 7-8-yard line goes Lance Leggett. Dwayne Wade likes it.
We can just see the comfort level of Kyle Wright growing and growing with each play. No panic in the pocket against the Florida State rush. Good protection and a beautiful throw across the middle. And Lance Leggett, Rich Olsen said the biggest improvement he made this summer was catching the ball with his hands. He said he lacked confidence, so he always wanted to jump and try to catch it in his body. And this summer, he really started working on catching the ball with his hands. And he did it that time for a big conversion.
That looked like Marcus Ball may have tipped that. He's Reggie's younger brother. Here comes Jones again to the 5. But it had enough on it, so it still got there. Geno Hayes in on the tackle again. Leggett's had a big first half, along with Jenkins. Olsen has been more of a third, receiver in small packages and not getting much downfield.
We got to believe Florida State is keyed in on him. He had 9 catches in this game last year. I mean, he was the biggest weapon for Kyle Wright. More attention paid inside, more openings outside.
2nd and goal. Wright for the end zone, incomplete. That ball could have been intercepted. Zellner went inside, and J.R. Bryant was back there and had it go past him.
Take a look at last year, the wide receivers. Not a whole lot. Not what they're accustomed to at the University of Miami. And so for Lance Leggett and Darnell Jenkins to be stepping up tonight, a very, very good sign for the Miami offense and for Rich Olsen, the new coordinator.
And Moore, as we told you earlier, has been suspended indefinitely, but he was an underachiever, Todd.
Yeah. A great freshman year, and it really fell off the last couple of years.
Wright, 3-man rush and pressure. Wright's going to take off and has ripped as he got to the 3.
Well,
be careful.
If you really need an indicator of how hard the hitting is in this game, that's the 3rd time a helmet has popped off on a collision.
Jeez. Now, you quarterbacks are supposed to be smart.
Get down. I think he was thinking maybe I could dive over for one of those Sports Center touchdown highlights.
He better grow wings. John Petty for the field goal. Larry Coker debuting that new coaching staff, a new offensive system, and an old defense that will still hit you right in the chops. And they have a 10-3 lead over FSU at the half. That was pretty impressive.
Very impressive. Particularly defense the whole half, and offensively they started to get a few things going there in the 2nd quarter.
Check in with Holly.
Coach, what can your offense improve on in this next half?
Blocking. We hadn't been able to block them.
You wanted to see your running game improve so far. Where else besides the blocking can you improve that running game?
Blocking. We can't knock them. They make tackles. You know, we got to knock them off the ball. We're not doing it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
They're tougher than we are right now up front.
Pretty good assessment. Open and honest, it's blocking. Our halftime score, Miami 10-3 over Florida State. Let's join Chris, Lee, and Kirk for the Pontiac Performance halftime report. And a great first half it was. 10-3 Miami. Florida State has been held to 1 yard rushing, 43 yards total, and it has been a game of field position. A punt was one of the big plays of the first half because, as Todd said, it changed the total field position. Miami was in control after that.
Yeah, they really were. They took advantage of the field position, and I think right now the challenge for Florida State, who will get the ball to start the second half, it's a manhood thing. It really is. I mean, Bobby Bowden mentioned it to Holly on the way off, and I'm sure they challenged him on the inside of the locker room. Offensive line, you're getting your head handed to you. You've got to take control of the line of scrimmage. We can't have 1 yard rushing and hope to win this game against Miami.
For sure, and I'll bet they didn't say you're having your head handed to you. It was another part of their anatomy that they were having handed to them. Florida State will get the ball first. And we'll see if they were able to make any adjustments.
Running the football is an attitude. It's a mentality. When Florida State played Penn State in the Orange Bowl, 25 yards rushing. Tonight, 1.
5 yards deep. They'll start from the 20-yard line. Michael Ray Garvin thinks better of it.
This Miami defense tonight has been, in a word, suffocating. They have stopped everything down the field throwing. Pass coverage has been outstanding. No running room. 1 yard rushing for Florida State. And Drew Weatherford, I mean, they just have had nothing. Miami has had everything covered tonight that Florida State has tried. Run and pass.
Florida State for a long time was just about as good. A couple of big penalties really hurt them. They did not get outside of their own 20 in the second quarter. Pick up a couple on this hard run by Anton Smith. Let's check in with Holly Rowe. Holly.
Guys, Coach Bowden told us at halftime that he was frustrated with the running game and the blocking in particular. Well, Lorenzo Booker, their running back, is frustrated as well. Just before the half, he was gathered in amongst the offensive linemen, and he was pleading with them, imploring them, but in a very positive way, saying, guys, I just need one more split second. If you can just hold your blocks a little longer. So even the backs are noticing that things aren't going right up front.
All right, Holly, that was their longest run so far tonight. They've given 3 yards for Smith on a first down carry. Smith again. And it's obvious they want to come out and try to establish something, Todd. But Miami's not letting them.
Well, they have to. I mean, because that obviously had to be the conversation in the locker room. We can't get pushed around the second half. We've got to take a little charge on the line of scrimmage. Because if they just go to a full, sell out and throw the football, Drew Weatherford will get pummeled. I mean, they've got to have some semblance of a running game to make the Miami defense play them honest.
Can they convert a third down? They haven't tonight. This is 3rd and 7. Miami rushes 4, drops 7. Weatherford, little jump pass, and Fagg makes the catch up at the 35-yard line. Excellent patience, but a nice throw.
And they got protection. Miami showed blitz early in the play and then only rushed 4. And the 5 up front did a good job. Good pocket for Weatherford. He stepped up nicely and found Fagg coming across the middle. Zone defense by Miami, and Weatherford connects for the first down.
Only 2:06 to go, third quarter. The Seminoles had that brilliant streak where they went 14 years finishing in the top 5, 14 years in a row, won 2 national championships. They haven't done it since 2001 to 2005. The win totals have dropped off. The losses increased. And Bobby Bowden right now is staring another loss in the face unless he can find a way to get his offense on track. Here's Weatherford. Got away from the first man and throws. That's a heck of a play by Weatherford, but they're going to say Warren couldn't make the catch.
A lot of pressure by Eric Moncoeur, number 94, forced Weatherford out of the pocket. Made a pretty decent throw on the run, but not able to set his feet and make the throw. And, you know, last year, as a freshman, he struggled in this game. 7 for 24 with an interception. A little better percentage tonight, but the overall productivity very similar to last year.
Certainly hasn't been helped by his ground game. FSU has rushed for 3 yards tonight. Weatherford on a roll. Atkins trying to chase him, and he throws it out of bounds. Carr was the intended receiver, but Glenn Sharp was right there. There's just nobody open.
And that looked like a misfire, a miscommunication between Carr and Weatherford. Because there was no pressure, and Weatherford looked like he thought one of these guys was going to end up going deep, and they both stopped on their routes in the same spot. And you know when two receivers are right next to each other, somebody's wrong.
You saw Buster Davis on the sideline working on that right shoe, maybe retaping an ankle. Now it's 3rd and 10. Third down has not been kind to the Seminoles. 1 out of 9. Weatherford floats this one underthrown, and a catch at the 40-yard line. Dakota Fagg kept his eye on the ball, stayed under control, and made the catch, gain 27.
And I'm a firm believer, as a former quarterback, that even when a guy's covered, Sharp has great coverage, throw that ball up and let your receiver have a chance, because offensive players are better used to going up and catching the ball in a jump ball situation than a defensive player is. That was a case where the guy was not open, but you give him a chance and he makes a play.
And if you catch the defender not looking back, your man's the only one with a shot at it. Weatherford's going to try it again. Carr on the outside, and just tremendous defensive position by Sharp. He ran the pattern better than Carr did. All right, Reese. Seminoles trying to throw the ball, and it just looked like Warren just fell down going across the middle.
But you know what? That was a bad throw by Drew Weatherford, because he started to leave the pocket when he didn't have to. Watch. The protection is not going to break down, but he starts to drift and throws across his body when he really didn't need to leave the pocket. He could have stayed right there, stepped into that throw, and made a nice conversion down the field.
Offensive coordinator Jeff Bowden, and the son of Bobby, trying to come up with something that works. 3rd and 10. This is their best field position in a long time.
If nothing else, they have a chance to flip the field a little bit on Miami and let their defense play on a long field.
Four-man rush on Weatherford. Dumps it to Booker. Booker stays on his feet. First down and more. 10, 5, 4. First and goal, Seminoles. 35 yards.
Excellent job by Booker with a little hesitation, a little stutter step, throws Glenn Cook, the linebacker. Watch, little stutter step, and that's all it took to freeze Cook to get to the outside. Cook was in position to make the play, but a nifty little use of his feet by Lorenzo Booker turns a short pass and a short gain into a big play.
2 big plays on this drive. First and goal with 52 seconds to go in the quarter. Well, they've turned the field around. Now they've got a chance to score.
Yep.
Anton Smith, number 6, the tailback. Weatherford wants to throw again. Dumps it to the goal line, complete. Caught by Chris Davis. They'll mark it a foot away.
Well, that's one where Chris needs to get in the end zone, I think. You know, I mean, he makes the catch, but why run that route to the half-yard line? You know, just take one more step and catch it and fall down for a touchdown. He comes across, just work a little deeper and get to the end zone, but still a great catch.
Yes, it was. I like the play call, too.
Yeah, first down, little play action. Oh, that was close.
Yes, it was. 2nd and goal.
Now, does this play count?
Looks a little ragged right now, doesn't it? going to be third down, and that is also going to be the end of quarter. All right, now they say it's the end of the quarter, but no play. They marked the ball ready for play. 2 seconds came off the clock. The quarter is over. And we'll get it straight when we come back for fourth quarter from the Orange Bowl. Welcome back to ESPN's Full Circles College Football Primetime, presented by Dish Network. This is Mike Patrick along with Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe from Miami. We're at the Orange Bowl. And it is a 7-point game, but the Seminoles are driving.
And they've got to go into the end zone where all the Miami fans are before the clock ran out. No fans on the other end.
Surratt, the fullback, touchdown.
Great response by the Seminoles.
Joe Surratt played in all 13 games last year. Did not get to carry the ball once.
You know, they went quarterback sneak 2 times, but neither play counted, and neither play would have scored. They changed him up to start the fourth quarter with a little give to the fullback, and they got the touchdown.
Ran behind Shannon Boatman and David Overmeyer off the right side. Sismacia.
Wow. Good job by the holder, because that snap was bobbled. Got it down and got it through.
Brent Moody was the holder. For Florida State in this rivalry, the kicking game has meant heartbreak.
This could be for a national championship. It's up. Missed it to the right. 8 seconds. This is the time. Lowry hit it. Going up. He missed it to the right. Here's the snap, the spot, the kick. Airborne, 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 airborne. It is no good. Canes win from 43 yards away. For the win, the kick on the way. He missed it. Wide left.
Bobby Bowden has been there for all of those. And this is the honest truth. I have seen Florida State and Miami fans, really woofing at each other about the rivalry. And then the words wide right come up and the conversation is over.
I know.
I mean, there's no way to counter it either.
And the crazy thing is, it's not like it's only happened once or twice. I mean, if you look back in history, in games between these two teams divided by a single-digit margin, Miami has won 15 of the last 16. So it has gone almost completely against Florida State when the game is close. Now, last year they won 10-7, and it was a botched field goal try by Miami that cost them the chance to win.
And I don't think either one of these coaches wants this thing to come down to a field goal. Great job by the Seminoles to get back in this ball game. Here goes Johnson. Now it's Miami's turn to respond with 14:49 to go in the ball game. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, you're talking about how close these games have been over the rivalry series. We talked to Bobby Bowden. How did he describe it? And he said, it's just like an NBA championship game. It all comes down to who misses the last shot. And guys, with the score tied at 10-10, he might be right about that.
3rd and 9. We're under 14 minutes to go. Miami out at the 24. Javaris James, the talented freshman from Immokalee, is in at running back. His cousin Edgerrin says this kid's a killer. And Wright looked like he fit it in there. Olsen couldn't come up with it.
And do you get a sense that the Florida State defense kicked it up a little bit of a notch after their offense came through and scored the tying points?
Yeah, I think momentum has shifted a little.
Now, they got after Kyle Wright on this series, trying to find Olsen. He gets separation from Davis, but Wright is running for his life and can't throw an accurate ball on the move.
Monroe will kick to Davis. That was the 5th 3-and-out that the FSU defense has turned in tonight. High, short kick. No fair catch, and they'll pay the penalty for it. Knocked down after a 34-yard punt. Reddick, the safety. Sims being tended to on the sideline. Good to see that he was able to get up and walk off. Now the Seminoles, can they mount another drive? Good field position again. They start from the 41. Weatherford dumps it off to Smith, and Smith makes the most of that before he's tackled by Randy Phillips.
See, those are good decisions because you're having trouble running the football. So if you can't run with a lot of effectiveness, then just dump the ball off. You know, it's almost like running a screen. Look downfield. If it's not there, know where your dump off is. Hit the back, and it becomes a quasi-running play.
Exactly.
You know, that's what it amounts to. You get them out in space a little bit instead of trying to bang it between the tackles.
And they gain 7. They certainly haven't done that on a running play. Weatherford to throw on 2nd and short. Caught. Dakota Fagg made the grab. Randy Phillips got turned around. Fagg followed the ball and made the catch. Nice throw by Weatherford.
When you're playing man-to-man coverage and the ball is thrown under, you have no chance as a defender. If the offensive guy can find the ball and get turned around, he can make the catch all day long. Now, did he get his foot in before when he had possession?
You can even see his toe print inside that white line, I believe.
Yep. Great adjustment to the ball.
Fagg 3 catches, 60 yards. Weatherford again. Right back to Dakota Fagg. This one a little bit underthrown. And Randy Phillips this time knew where the ball was.
That's exactly right. That time he saw the ball and knew it was overthrown and was in great position.
Check in with Holly.
Well, guys, one of the things we're noticing about Drew Weatherford is what a leader he is. Bobby Bowden calls him his natural-born leader. For example, before the ACC championship game last year, they were having a team meeting, and Drew Weatherford stood up and asked the coaches to lead. He wanted to address the team by himself. He said, guys, we are not going to go out like this. I've been a Florida State fan since I was 8 years old, and this is not what we're about. Guys, you're seeing some more of that leadership tonight.
Holly 2 for 3 on this drive. 14 out of 26 for the night. For 15 out of 27. Carr dives and got the first down. That's huge.
Yep. And I think this is the most comfortable that Bobby Bowden has felt about his quarterback position in quite a while. Probably since Chris Weinke was there. Good protection. Drew Weatherford starting to get in a little bit of a rhythm, spreading the ball around, spreading this Miami defense out. Last year, Weatherford was a freshman, and they had to kind of play him under wraps. They had no running game. Before that, Chris Ricks was kind of up and down throughout his career. It wasn't since Chris Weinke that they were pretty solid at the quarterback position, and I think he feels that way now about Weatherford.
Bobby has said this kid is a natural leader, and Smith is just blasted as he goes straight up the middle. John Beeson again. Beeson has had some monster plays off that weak side linebacker position. From here, it would be about a 42-yard field goal. They'd be a little more comfortable if they could pick up some extra yardage if they have to go for 3. Second and 11. Are you conservative down here, or do you call the plays you want?
Well, I think you feel Drew Weatherford's going to make a good decision right now. Go ahead and let him try to make a play.
Smith goes out on the pattern as well. Weatherford.
And he did make a good decision.
Boy, didn't he? And a good run as well.
A little bit closer. Don't force a bad throw. And now you have a 3rd down in a very manageable situation. Nobody open downfield. Get what you can get and protect the football.
You talked about the coaches challenging this team at the half. Well, if they did, they've responded. 151 yards in offense to only 6 for Miami. Huge play here, 3rd and 5. Weatherford, in this half, 123 yards, 3 times what he had in the first half. Blitz coming. Weatherford underneath. First down and more, down to the 2 and ton. Smith And they have worn that play out, but it keeps working.
Well, and the beauty of this play is Drew Weatherford knew where the pressure was coming from. There was a blitz coming from the other side. Levon Ponder, the safety, was coming unblocked, and Weatherford knew where that was coming from and went the other way. Now Levon Ponder is going to come on a blitz. Weatherford sees it, and he's just going to roll this way and get the ball to Anton Smith. He knows the pressure's coming, but he moves away from it enough to get the ball to his running back.
And they're not keeping any backs in to block. It's the 5 guys up front who have done the job against the Miami pass rush. And Weatherford's mobility. Apparently they're going to review it to see if they can tell where he stepped out of bounds.
After review, the play stands his call on the field. The runner was ruled out on the 9-yard line.
Oh, Ron was going to give us a little bit more information, and then decided we'd already had enough.
Yeah.
And that's another good call. And you're right. I think they've done a terrific job. So it will be 1st and goal from the 9.
Take a look at this. These Miami defenders right here, what they're doing is they're trying to see what personnel is going to come out of the huddle on the sideline for Florida State to know whether they're going to be in a base defense, a nickel, or a dime defense. And the Florida State offense kind of has Miami on their heels a little bit for one of the first times in the ball game.
Now look at the Miami defenders. They've got their hands up in the air asking, what do you want to call on this? Weatherford fumbles the football, just covered it up. Kenny Phillips was flying toward that loose ball, and Weatherford barely got there ahead of him.
And that's the second time we've seen Drew Weatherford maybe take his eyes off the football. It wasn't a bad snap, but he knew he had Greg Davis coming around. Maybe they're going to fake the reverse, and he just lost his concentration on the snap enough to not handle it. And very fortunate that he fell on it.
Kenny Phillips has a little more speed than Weatherford.
Yes, he does.
It's all the way back at the 19-yard line. 2nd and goal. They cannot get a first down. Smith got outside, but the hole closed in a hurry. Kenny Phillips again. That looked like a hole he could run through for about 10 seconds.
I was thinking he was going to the corner of the end zone, and it just closed up so quickly by Kenny Phillips. Miami's got a lot of guys committed to the line of scrimmage. If you break through, you make a big play. But Kenny Phillips, who had 88 tackles last year as a true freshman, was not about to let Anton Smith go on the sideline. Look at that. Now, sack yardage counts in, which I don't think they should count, but that's still pretty dismal.
Still impressive if you're a defensive team. 3rd and goal, play clock down to 3. Incomplete. Cody Fagg covered by Sharp.
Actually, I think it was Greg Carr, the taller receiver, and which, you know, we see this a lot in college football. Everybody, it seems like they have the big, tall receiver. You throw the jump ball up, down around the goal line, and Glenn Sharp was there, but Greg Carr had a chance to come down with that one. Just didn't make the play.
Sismaja, who was already hit from 37, will try from 33 to give the Seminoles the lead. And he's got it. Sismaja, who struggled in the Orange Bowl against Penn State, knocks this through. Back at the Orange Bowl, 8:01 to go in this tremendous rivalry. Glad you've enjoyed this game. Hope you've been with us all night. On ESPN, ESPN2. I don't think we're on radio, are we? I know the game's on radio, but I don't think we're on. Colin Cowherd is there. I know we're not on ESPN Deportes. If we are, we've got him confused. Jenkins and Johnson deep to receive. Seminoles by 3. Johnson's going to bring it out. Not a good choice. Taken down at the 14. Look at the disparity in the numbers first to second half.
Nothing for Miami, and that play was messed up from the beginning. They had a guy run on late. The tight end ran on late. Chris Zellner. Then they had movement by the left tackle.
Now Zellner is the motion man. Draw play to James. Fumbled the football.
This is not the easiest place to put a true freshman tailback in. Draw play. Quarterback's job is to put it in the belly. The running back's job is to collapse down over it. Looks like a good spot for the handoff. Javaris James is looking at the hole, looking at the blocking, and not securing the football. A little surprised Charlie Jones isn't in the game at this point if he's healthy, just for a ball security standpoint.
Sure. That's a big loss. 2nd and 19. Now they're really deep. James again. Obviously hard running. Still driving his legs. Look at James all the way to the 19. He's carrying everybody with him.
Maybe that's why he is in the game. Wow.
Haven't got a smile from Edge. Yeah, I think we just found out why.
Man.
Holy cow.
He's a little bigger than Charlie Jones. A little faster. And he's got fresh legs, obviously, because he does not want to go down. Although he may have been down a little bit earlier.
Yeah, they're going to have to bring this one back, I think, if they get a good look at it, because that knee was down.
Actually, it looks like they already did.
They did. They did. Back to the 12. 3rd and 13. Wright fumbles it. Buster Davis got there late after Geno Hayes made the tackle. No flag.
Well, just when we said the Miami offense needed to respond to the challenge, they responded with probably their ugliest offensive possession of the night.
You're right.
I mean, the first play, they were discombobulated. They got the penalty. They had a fumble. They bobbled the snap there. And they've got a punt.
Monroe to kick to Davis. For the last 5 possessions for Miami, they have gone 3 and out. Davis, that will be interference with the catch. The man must have an unobstructed opportunity to make the catch, whether it's a fair catch or not.
My only question is, if he makes the catch, what was he unobstructed? I mean, he didn't
prima facie evidence, isn't it?
He made a clean catch. You know, they did away with the halo rule a few years ago. I understand the rule, but if a guy makes a catch clean, doesn't he have enough room to make the catch?
Yes, I agree with you. Weatherford will launch for Carr. The big guy went up, and what a play by Sharp. He has made some sensational plays, giving away a half a foot to Carr.
And it's man on man. I mean, Sharp is 6 foot, Carr is 6'6", and you're just throwing it up and giving the receiver a chance. But as long as that defender has body position and finds the ball, he has a chance to make a play, and that's outstanding work by Glenn Sharp.
Sharp is just that. Huge play here, 3rd and 10. Miami shows blitz, and here they come. Weatherford just got rid of it and threw it away. Another good decision by Weatherford.
And you know what? I want to go back to something on this clock, because I think Florida State could have managed the clock much better in this possession. When they got the ball, it was 1st and 10, and there were 5 minutes left on the clock. And they changed the clock, or they started the clock on the change of possession. They ran 3 plays and only used 44 seconds off the clock because they stopped it with 3 incomplete passes. Not that you play passively here, or play just to protect the three-point lead, but certainly put some more pressure on Miami by giving them the ball back with maybe only 2 minutes left, or 2 and some change on the clock.
And if they had gained only a few yards, not necessarily a first down, it might have put them in range to get another field goal. Neither one of those things happened. They get a good punt here from Gano. It will kick sideways and go out of bounds. Only a 27-yard kick, but it's out of bounds at the 8. That's the most important part. With the new clock rules, this could be the drive they have to make something happen. And they get the ball to Sam Shields, their fastest receiver.
Last year, on Miami's final drive in this ballgame, they started on their own 3, and they went 19 plays, all the way down to the Florida State 3. Florida State got their 9th and final sack of the night on the next play, and they had to settle for a 28-yard field goal attempt that would have tied the score, and they botched the snap. So Kyle Wright has been there and done that before, just a year ago.
Wright is 17 out of 24. This one hit one of the blocking backs. The ball is loose. And Miami apparently got it back. Well, that was a potential disaster.
I don't know what happened on that. I'm wondering if he's, you know what? Wolfslager thought he was under the center, and he snapped it right into his own butt. Kyle Wright, I mean, normally you would think a center would feel if the hands were there. He had no feeling back there, and he snapped it anyway. I know I would feel it if somebody had their hands there.
What a lonely feeling for the quarterback. He's 7 yards away when the ball snapped about a foot.
But what a wasted play at a critical time.
Now it's 3rd and 9. They have to hit this to keep it alive. And he threw a perfect pass to Shields, and he dropped it. Holy cow.
And the coaches have told us that Sam Shields is a true freshman. All he's done is make plays every single day in practice. They didn't think this game was too big for him as a youngster. Perfect throw by Kyle Wright, and Sam Shields just can't make the play.
Let it get into his body.
Well, you can't throw it any better than that.
No, you can't. Boy, and they're going to be woofing at him, too. Davis now. Back and lets it go. Goes out of bounds to the 45-yard line. More importantly, there's only 2:19 left, and Florida State is going to have to get a first down to really put Miami in a world of trouble. Miami's going to have to use his timeouts on this drive.
They have all 3 of them left.
Smith back in at tailback. Weatherford changing the play. Smith wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage and thrown down by Tavares Gooden, number 52, and they'll use another timeout.
Now, the other thing you have to tell your running backs, if you're Drew Weatherford in the huddle, make sure you protect the football, because Miami is going to go for the ball. And it's not the first guy, it's going to be the second guy. The first guy is going to hold you up, the second guy is going to come and try to strip it. So when you get hit, just go down, protect the ball, and go to the ground. Get slow, get off the pile.
We talked about both of these teams and what they might be facing if they lost this game as far as the national championship picture. Here's what Miami has remaining. Going to be a tough game at Louisville, regardless of the loss to Bush. Then they're at Georgia Tech. They have Virginia Tech here and Boston College. The final game is here. So you would have to think those 2 games on the road would be the other 2 really big tests for this club, as well as the Virginia Tech game. Wherever you play them, it's going to be tough. Smith is the tailback. Surratt continues to be the fullback in front of him. Smith. Picked up 5. It'll be 3rd and about 3. Calais Campbell on the tackle.
Good hard-nosed run right there.
If this doesn't turn out in Miami's favor, people have to realize what a great job Larry Coker has done here with making the program more what a college football program ought to be in terms of discipline of players and where his priorities are. I know he's gotten a lot of grief for losing 3 games the last 2 years, but he's made a difference here.
Yep.
3rd and 4. It's a must stop for them, and Surratt.
They saved their last time out for right here, I would guess.
And they'll take it with 1 minute and 14 seconds to go.
Well, when Miami does get the ball back, the burden will be on their wide receivers. In the first half, the wide receivers accounted for 10 catches for 91 yards for Miami. Only 1 catch for 18 yards here in the whole second half. So Lance Leggett and Darnell Jenkins, those are the guys who are going to have to step up.
The clock will also start on the change of possession after the punt. Miami coming hard, trying to get some pressure. Can't get there. And the ball will make the end zone. A break for the Hurricanes. A 37-yard punt, but a net of only 17, and they will start from the 20 with 1:05 to go. Remember, they only need a field goal to tie.
Right. And like you said, the clock will start on the ready for play here, so they've got to come up and get lined up and be ready to run their first play.
And as you pointed out earlier, in this series, in close games, it's been Miami with the big advantage.
Really up until last year. That was a real breakthrough win for Florida State. Not only did they break a 6-game losing streak, they won a close one.
Clock is running. Jones is back in the tailback. You can't take your time. Jones gets the ball underneath, and they'll give up that pattern.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah. 6 yards to the crack won't get it done. Not even a first down, so the clock continues to run. Miami's really got to hustle. Under 40. Wright. Nice defensive play. Tony Carter, freshman All-American, coming off his shoulder surgery, got a hand on that and knocked it down. Stops the clock with 33, and there is Petty with a career long of 51 yards. That means they would have to reach the 34-yard line to give him a shot at that distance.
Well, right now, Kyle Wright, the one thing he cannot do is get a sack. I mean, he's got to get the ball out of his hands. If they get a first down, the clock will stop until they reset the chains.
Underneath, too high. Intercepted. Picked off by Michael Ray Garvin on an overthrow, and that's it.
Geno Hayes is the guy that's going to bring the pressure and force the bad throw by Kyle Wright. He's coming off the edge, and his quickness, we've talked about it all night. He's 211 pounds, but he's got great quickness. Watch him come clear, beats the tackle's block underneath, and his pressure forces the poor throw by Kyle Wright.
So it looks for all the world like for the second year in a row, the Seminoles are going to win this bitter rivalry series by 3 points. Tough loss for Larry Coker.
On the ready for play. The game will start on the ready for play.
This is a kneel down for Drew Weatherford.
Smiles all around for the Seminoles, though.
Haven't won here since 1998.
It's huge for them. You can bet Bobby Bowden and company will be in the top 10 when the new ratings come out tomorrow. California was the only team that lost in the top 10 this week.
How about this defense? Loses 4 guys drafted in the first round of the NFL draft and comes out and puts out a performance like this tonight.
Mickey Andrews with his fist in the air, and he deserves it. And that offense, Bobby Bowden said, you know, they're just outplaying us. Challenged them at the half, and they came out and did the job. You see Holly Rowe down there on the field with Coach Bowden. Let's go down to Holly.
Coach, you told me at halftime your team wasn't playing tough enough. When did that change?
Well, you know, we were playing tough as we could, but it wasn't tough enough. I thought they were winning the battle up front the whole first half. Now, field position was the biggest part of this game. We had field position the whole first quarter and a half. Then they punted us back to our 10, and we never had field position again until the second half. And it was a defensive football game. Anytime these two teams plays, they ain't gonna mean many points. You can forget them points.
You found those points on the second half. What did Drew Weatherford do on that drive to make those big plays?
Well, we just made it. He made a couple of throws. We made a couple of catches. We had a couple of chances first half, and we dropped the ball. And you got to make catches.
How does a win like this on the road, first game of the year, answer questions about Florida State's program?
You don't know how hard it is to beat Miami. I mean, I've been playing these guys 31 years. I mean, they probably got as good defense in the country, unless it's us.
All right, well, congratulations, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Got Drew Weatherford here, guys.
Good job, Drew.
Thank you, Coach.
Mike, back to you.
All right, Holly, thank you very much. It's just entertaining to listen to Bobby. He's been a great coach for so long, and what a brilliant job he did tonight bringing his team back. It looked for all the world like they were going to lose here against Miami again. The final, 13-10. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. SportsCenter is coming up next over on ESPN News, the post-game expert. For Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and our entire crew who worked so hard for Miami, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from the Orange Bowl.